Mate, I don't know if you know, mate, but believe it or not, you see those guns? You see the resemblance, mate?
Yeah.
You guys just want to talk shit for a sec? I mean, you do anyway, but...
Yeah, just talking it. Come on, bro. It's not rolling.
What else? Side of you that says, I just have to follow that. Because you don't know who you're going to be,
Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to Two Grunts. In the first episode we're talking about embracing adversity. So we're going to go through some tools that myself and Fitzy have used when we've been in a tough time. So these tools are pretty much to get you out of that deep dark crevasse, to aid you initially, and then we're going to use those tools in the long run to make you a stronger person. So stand by, you're going to go through a couple of things with on Fitzy's videos, video from me. I'm going to head out in the bush. Fitzy's going to do a bit of training, and we're going to go from there in order to aid you. So well, I'll pass over to Fitzy. You can add his bloody 2 cents.
Yeah, absolutely. What's going on, team? Excited to bring in the first episode in embracing adversity. I'm really excited about this topic, and the main thing is just because we all go through a dark place or a dark time in our life. But I find most people, when that dark time comes, instead of leaning into adversity, they're trying to run away from it. And what I've found from my experiences going through adversity as a kid and as a teenager, and then as an adult, is actually leaning into that adversity, saying, okay, cool, here's where I am, and then planning your path out and just embracing the suck or embracing the adversity instead of trying to run away from it. And I find it's empowering when you do that, because instead of being crippled by the tough time that you're going through, you're regaining that strength. So cool.
Yeah, man, it just comes down to basic sort of tools as well. Like when you look at your life and you think everything is just going down the drain, you think that instead of looking at it in that perspective, we're going to look at it a different perspective to make you stronger. So these tools are what myself and Fitzy use within our different niches. So within hunting and special forces mindset, and also lifestyle and fitness. So we through these tools, focusing on these small things, whether it be a social life, a different mindset, a different way of living in terms of if you change it up to something new like hunting, and then you just look at the challenges within hunting for me personally, and then using that to really build a better mindset and build a better frame for future. So when things like this happen again, when you do go back into a dark place, sweet, I've been here before, I know how to get out, and this is how I'm going to do it. So yeah, we look forward to showing you these tools, and we do believe they'll help.
So there's heaps of camp set up. Just glass up. We're up in right up the tops now, so weather should stay off us, and maybe glass some animals to get in the morning. It's pretty steep terrain. So yeah, see how we go. Yeah, g'day. We got up to the top of the hills. Myself and Reese. It's fucking freezing. Seen a couple of deer on the way up. Bit out of range for the old 303, but Bruce has got the 308, so if there's anything a bit longer then we should be able to hit it. But we're going to cruise back down and fucking hit some of the bushes, hit some of the fucking lower lands and see what's happening. Yeah, let you know. Alright, so a pretty big walk in, and down the river we found the old girl from last night, so pretty stoked. Pretty decent shot. Shot was way up there. Shooting from over there, so definitely pretty happy with that. Still a pretty big fall, so see how the meat's like. I hope it's all good, and then the hard work begin getting it back to the hut. Different. What a fucking killer. Boys are a little hard work standing it, so I'm really up for a while. Carrying the fucking thing out. We're nearly fucking 30 degrees up here.
What's up guys, Dave Perry, Dinosaur Outdoors. Welcome to Two Grunts. First of all, on this week's episode, myself and Fitzy are going to be talking about embracing adversity. So I'm just going to give you a quick spiel, a bit of a little whiteboard session to interpret my battle with depression. So I drew this up. I like to call my fight the crevasse effect. So people might know it as rock bottom or the black dog. So if you look at yourself down here, this was me. I was climbing up this big mountain. Consider myself a bit of a mountaineer at times. Climbed up this big mountain, took a drop,
ups and downs in life, as you do. Got to a certain point in my life, fell off the mountain down into a deep, dark crevasse. So my definition, I suppose, of a crevasse in terms of depression is it's dark, lonely, cold, scary, deadly. The only way is up. It's a struggle. It's exhausting. It's a very lonely place to be, amongst many other things. So in terms of getting out of the crevasse, so just like anything, as I said before, the only way out is back up. So I look at the two tools that I've mainly stuck to my whole life, and that has been fitness and hunting. So in terms of fitness, before going down the crevasse, I was the token pretty boy. I would go to the gym, I would do 3 sets of 10 on the incline dumbbell press just to make my chest look a bit bigger. So that was my definition of training, and training hard. And I was the classic stringer singlet, yoga pants, dick. Yeah. So that was my term. Not very challenging, not very beneficial to the headspace. So, and also in terms of hunting, I would always be looking at taking the easy option. For example, if I seen a deer a few k's away, I would hope that there was something closer, and like a lot of hunters do. So I decided once I was in the crevasse, or in a deep, dark thing of depression, I was very lonely, and I tried to do these things as I'd always done it before, and they weren't working. If anything, they were making things worse. So what I decided to do was I got into a lot more mindset training in terms of fitness, first of all. So I would do workouts, instead of just going to the local gym, I would do workouts like Murph, or I would do a 12k pack march with a certain weight. I would get back into military style training that I did with Fitzy in the infantry. And that made my mindset a lot stronger. So I felt like if I did this workout, Murph, I know everyone knows Murph, so the 1 mile run, 100 press ups, 100 pull-ups, 200 press ups, 300 air squats, and then a 1 mile run to finish. That is a arduous workout. It sucks. It is you mentally at war with yourself. So anyone look, you look at CrossFit athletes, they see Murph come up. They look at pretty much, you see any CrossFit workout come up, everyone just, they know what's coming. And that is so healthy for your brain, to put your body through that experience of that sort of arduous, long workout, and because it is endurance. Once you have finished that workout, or a workout similar to it, any sort of CrossFit workout, or any sort of long, arduous kind of high intensity sort of training, you do feel 1,000 times better. Or even stuff like mountain running, or just where there's a mental aspect to it. So there was that side. So, and then in terms of the hunting, so when I was down in this crevasse, I was lonely. Loneliness was one of the best feelings, worst feelings that I had, because I couldn't explain what I was going through to anyone else. I couldn't. People would say, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, try that, try. No one is in my head but me. So I was lonely. So when I went hunting, I went out hunting in the middle of winter, August last year in New Zealand, so on the Central Plateau as well. For everyone who lives in New Zealand, it's freezing. The weather's pretty unpredictable. It is, it's tough. It's not actually a good time to go hunting, but I went anyway. And it was cold, wet, windy, mountains, and I found at the end of it when I came out, it was tough, and it was a big trip. I felt afterwards so good, for a sense the depression was slowly, and by this time I was still on medication, I was still going for therapy, but I felt a lot better. I felt something, I felt tougher, I felt stronger for something. I had this long period of just feeling weak, useless, hopeless, suicidal, to having this glimpse of hope because I'd done this trip, because I'd gone outside of what I'd normally do. And then since then, I now thrive off it. I love being in the rain. I love being out there. I love it when I'm cold. I love it when I love the feeling afterwards of knowing that you've put your mind through something that's hard and then come out stronger. So that is exactly what happens with being in depression. You are alone. You do feel hopeless. You do feel like these things, but you can use them. You can embrace them, you can take them, you can hang on to them, and you can be a lot stronger from them. Okay, so embracing adversity is a massive tool that you can use as a male to make yourself stronger. And you will find that once you've done these things, these are just my passions, fitness and hunting. You could be a boat builder. You want to build a boat, you build a bigger boat. Build a boat that looks mean, build a bloody super yacht, build something. You want to build, you're a chippy, build a house. Whatever your passion is, just take it that much step further out of your comfort zone. And then once you accomplish it, once you achieve it, you might doubt yourself, you might be worried, you might think, oh, bugger this, or I don't know, but at the end of it, you will feel a lot. I challenge you to do it. So yeah, I hope that helps. That is my spiel. I look forward to this episode of what else me and Fitzy come up with. 2 Grunts is just starting up. This is the first episode, so we're gonna get stuck into it, and I look forward to interpreting a few more tools to help you guys get through life as a male. Yeah. Over to you, Fitz Nuts.
What's going on, team? Fitzy here. So I wanted to drop in and give you a little task to do over the weekend. Okay, so we're at that time of year where you're either going to do something or you're going to do nothing. And the truth is, I don't want you to do nothing. Why? Because if you do nothing, then you're going to stay where you've always been. And I know most people have a yearning, a feeling inside them to be something, to be more. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a quick task to conduct over the weekend. Don't be lazy, get it done. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do, the first step that you're going to do, okay, is you're going to do a lock stat. Where are you? A no duff, no bullshit. Where the fuck are you in your life? What are you doing well? What are you doing poorly? What can you improve on? What do you need to do in order to get better? Okay, so it's a no duff lock stat. Where the fuck am I in life? Don't hold back on yourself. If you're being a piece of shit, if you're being lazy, if you're procrastinating, if you're negative, if you have no goals, no motivation, no drive, you need to write that shit down, okay? It's an honest look in the mirror, put pen to paper, because that shit has power, okay? So step number 1, no duff, where are you? Step number 2, where do you want to be, okay? And so for where you want to be, in 1 year's time, if you had the perfect year, the absolute perfect year of your entire life, where would you be in 1 year's time if you were to look back? Okay, so what does that perfect year look like, and then where does that end up with you being? It's a tool that I have used with growing Warfighter, is I've planned out, okay, I'm here, this is where I want to be. What does the next perfect 12 months look like? What do I need to achieve in order to get to where I want to be in 12 months time? So step number 1, no duff, no bullshit, lock stat, where are you? Number 2, where do you want to be? And having the perfect year of your life, looking back on it, what does that look like? Number 3, why do you want to be there? Why do you want to get there? This is something that has been really important for me in my life. I've learned the hard way, if you don't understand your why and your heart and your soul, I spoke about this before, not just in your head, not just in the moment when something's cool. A good example is someone wanting to go just do special operations selection. They watch a cool video, they watch a cool movie, they're sitting in the lounge, they've got the popcorn, they've got a little Coke there, everything's all good, it looks cool. And then when they get out and train and they hear the voices in their head and it's hard, yeah, they want to quit, okay? And I've been there, experienced it. So number 3, why do you want this so badly? Why do you want to get there, okay? Take the time to think about it in your heart and your soul, not on the surface. Step number 4, okay? Step number 4 is actually putting a little bit of thought and critical thinking on this tool, okay? So you know where you are, you know where you want to be, you know in your heart and your soul why you want to be there, why you want to try get there. Now let's think about, what are the capabilities, what are the resources, what are the tasks you need to conduct in order to get there? okay? A lot of people, they have these goals, they have these aspirations and all these things they want to go do, but they don't even think about the capabilities and resources they're going to do. So they go run at it like a bull at a gate, and then next minute, the mission, the job, the goal, the dream starts to fall over because they don't have the resources or the capabilities in place to make sure they can achieve the mission, the goal, okay? So there it is there. Your task for the weekend is to conduct a lock stat and a little bit of planning. So number one, no duff, no BS. Where the hell are you? Is it where you want to be? Probably not. For most of us, no matter where we're at, we know we can always be that next step forward, okay? Number two, where do you want to be? If you were to have this year, if this was to be the perfect year of your life, what would that look like to you? Three, why do you want to get there? Why does this mean something to you in your heart and your soul? Why do you want this so damn badly? Why? Because it's going to get hard, team. You're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to work your ass off. Okay? It will get hard. Trust me. Number four, what are the capabilities, the resources you're going to need in order to achieve what you're setting out to achieve? Get after it, stay on it. Fitzy out. Welcome back, team. So I hope you got a little bit from that tool that I shared. It's a tool that I kind of developed along the way when building Warfighter, and it's been a massive help, and I still use it to this day. So how I sort of came into that tool and the framework of it all was, for me, was I had a career in special operations, and you know, as a driven and motivated, I guess alpha male, if you want to use that term, you know, that's meant to be the pinnacle of your life, I guess. But for me, I was starting to get to the point where I was feeling a little bit unfulfilled. But having served at 17 years old, I didn't really have anything next. And so for me, I'm not the person that can just go and do any job. I need to do something that has, I guess, a purpose and mission behind it. And I also had a daughter as well, and so that comes into play. And I really thought about, you know, do I hang around and be an operator and look to get on operations, or do I go all in on something else, and potentially something else that can make my daughter proud? And that weighed in heavily. But during this time, I was starting to feel a little down, and I was starting to get into a bit of a negative thought pattern. And I do see myself as a positive person, but just like everyone, we do all go through those dark times. And for me, although not an extremely dark time, my thought pattern was really starting to get quite negative. And so for me, that tool really come into play, because you get to just stop and go, okay, cool, where the fuck am I in life? And for me, as I explained in that tool, it's just that no duff, no BS, like, I'm here and I don't want to be here. I want to be over here. But then instead of just going, okay, cool, I want to be over there, it's actually putting some work into that. Because a lot of people sit there and they just focus on the problem, when if you put some energy into just accepting, okay, cool, I'm in adversity, I'm going to embrace it and work my way out of it. And this is exactly how I'm going to work my way out of it. So that's kind of really what works for me.
Yeah, so I obviously had a bit of a different background than Fitzy. I actually I was with Fitzy in the infantry when I first joined. We were good mates. And then Fitzy shot off, obviously to SF, as he was just saying. I took a different route. So I ended up leaving the military after 5 years, and then went into being a tradie, into a job where I thought that I would earn a lot of money. And I made my life solely on working hard and earning a lot of money, regardless of pretty much anything. So it took away my social life, it took away my fitness, it took away my confidence, it took away a lot of, you know, generic aspects to my life, which led me down a deep, dark, very dark path. And so in order to get myself out, and going back to what Fitzy said in terms of talking about men with guys with purpose, a man without purpose, or anyone without purpose, is a very hard life to live, because you sit there, you wonder, your life is stagnant in your own mind, essentially. Directionless. That is it. Like, you can't. You know, you just working. You feel like you're working towards nothing, and that leads towards depression. The amount of guys I talk to, especially ex-military guys still in the infantry, who I go back and I catch up with, will sit there and say to me, "I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I want to be here, but I feel like I've got nothing else to go to," which isn't true, essentially. So, in that sense, being in that mindset is very poisonous. So, if you can look at your life, look at where you want to be. Fitzy does touch on this really well in his vlogs. Look at where you want to be, and look at how you can get there. So that step there is a big part of, you know, leading into a positive lifestyle. But we're going back to where we were when you go into adversity, when you go into, as I was talking about in my vlog with the crevasse effect, when you're down in a deep dark hole and you feel like you can't get out, you feel hopeless and you feel lost, you feel lonely, because the loneliest feeling I had was when I was depressed, was the fact that you can't actually explain to anyone what you're feeling because it's inside your own head. So no one really understands what you're going through apart from yourself, and that's scary. So in terms of facing adversity within your own mind, I personally started with little things. So I went back to the small things that I did before I went into the dark place. So I loved hunting. I wasn't an intense hunter as I am now. I love fitness, but I would stick to the regular gym routine, the old string of singlets and the yoga pants. And as I said in my vlog, that was my life. That was my life. So that was what I stuck to. So I went back to those things, and I thought, right, initially being depressed, I couldn't find enjoyment out of those things initially. So what I did was I just stuck to them. I stuck to them, and then I ended up slowly becoming more and more into hunting, and slowly becoming, because I spent so much time in it, slowly loved the struggle because of where my headspace was at. I enjoyed the struggle, and then that made me a lot stronger. I enjoyed the fitness instead of doing things like stupid workouts like 10 sets, 10 reps, bicep curls and shit like that. I started doing Murph. I started doing high intensity, long distance running,
Embracing it.
just absolutely loving the anabolic zone within my own head that actually really benefited me. And then as I go on now, I look at my life, I look back at the situation I was in, I look at where I am now within the space of only probably about 6 or 7 months. I'm sitting here in front of a camera with a good mate, with a bloody good cameraman sometimes.
Bloody good.
When he turns up, and sitting here sharing it with you. So you can pull yourself out of that dark hole by using these tools and embracing it. So yeah.
I'll just add one little bit on. Just jumping there on what Dave was saying and embracing adversity. Definitely when I've gone into my darker times, I've definitely had some periods in my life where I never ever thought me as a person would ever get to such a low point. And the tool that I used was the same as Dave, was going back and anchoring myself in what I love and what fills me up and feels good. And so for me, I see a lot of people when they're in that dark place, they go and anchor themselves to those things that make them feel good in the moment, but not afterwards. So alcohol, going out on the town with the lads, and then you wake up the next day and you feel like shit. So what I did was I go completely clean. I go no alcohol, no going out, and I just zero in on a really healthy routine. And that comes down to working out. And in those workouts, it's that principle of embracing adversity. Doing those workouts that test you, gives you that feel-good endorphin dump. Same thing after that, looking after your body, hitting the hot pools, hitting the sauna, and then eating quality food. All those things really help pull me out of my darkest period. So yeah, definitely can relate to Dave on that one there.
Yeah, so just to keep it basic too with these tools, if you are going through a dark place, there's one thing I always do. So as Fitzy just said, so a good sleep, a good exercise routine, a good social life, and just picking that, stick to the basics, and they do help as well.
Sweet team, so I just want to wrap up the tool that I shared. So when you're in that dark place, or when you're in that place that you don't want to be, instead of just sitting there idle, just remember this tool, okay? So first step, doing that no duff lock stat. Where the fuck are you? Be harsh, be real with yourself. Then step 2, where do you want to be? Okay, if you were to have the perfect year from now and you look back on it, what would that year look like to you? Step 3, why? Why do you want it? In your heart and your soul, why do you want to get to that place? Step 4, put some critical thinking, some creative thinking. What are the resources and capabilities you're going to need to get there? And step 5, the unspoken step, fucking execute. Dave.
Yeah, man, so just remember my ones. So the crevasse effect, obviously it's a horrible place to be in, but if you are in there, remember to use it. Don't look at it as a weakness, don't look at it as something that's gonna, result in, the drastic effect of you ending your life or something like that. Look at it as using it as a strength. So just start basic, go back to the small things, go back to the things you used to enjoy. You might find at first you won't enjoy them. You might find it hard to get stuck back into it or anything like that. But just stick to it. Just stick to whatever it is. Whether it's hunting, training, fishing, diving, anything. Being with your kids or whatever. Just stick to it. And as time progresses, you'll find that you'll get back into the rhythm. And then you'll find too when that you want to push that strength to its absolute limit, because
you've been in a dark place, and you can actually, you can push through a lot more than what you used to before you went in there. So yeah, just stick to that. The only way is up. Keep it basic, keep it tight, and keep it right. Cheers, guys.
You're sitting in a desk would be better, I reckon, just randomly.
Yeah, we're on a couple of Nazis.
Oh yeah, mate.
Desk would be sweet as.
Yeah, and then you can like lean into it a little because I'm quite a visual.
Almost like a workbench or something.
Yeah, and you can put some cool shit on front too.
Yeah, staggy. And then to
Fuck staggy.
Staggy.
Like staggy, right?
Top point from the raw, wasn't it?
That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah. Buffalo, yeah.